Hey guys, Angry Monkey here,
And Jackson Farrell.
and we are playing some more 999, and Seven got his memory back.
Yep, he's about to tell us what happened.
So tell us what happened. Seven hastily drew a shaking hand across his mouth and began to speak. Like Snake said, Ace is Hongo. From the right, the other three are Musashido, Nijisaki, and Kubota. Musashido was the man with the cash. Nijisaki was Hongo's right-hand man, and Kubota developed the actual technical details of the experiments. Realization began to dawn on Junpei, along with a pressing question.
How do you know all this?
Mom, man, I told you, I finally got my memory back.
No, that's not what I mean. I'm trying to ask you why you knew all this stuff in the first place before you forgot it.
Seven rubbed the scar on his chin. You really want to know?
Of course.
Me too! Snake was the only one who didn't voice any sort of agreement. He looked at Junpei as if he was simply waiting to see where Seven's sudden recovery might take them. This is going to take a while. It'll probably take me a good 3 days to tell you everything.
Well, we don't have 3 days!
Just give us the short version, alright?
Short version, huh? The big man pulled off his hat and scratched his head. He made a face and put his hat back on. Alright, fine. I'll give it a shot. No promises, though. Junpei and Clover nodded earnestly. Seven was a lone wolf detective who valued his own code over the rules, doing what was right over doing what you were told. That was why, on that fateful day...
Oh, this is a different version of the same story.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'd gone with his gut and gone to the wharf at night on a slim lead. It was 9 years ago. The wharf had been dark and cold and foreboding. At the time, he'd been investigating a spate of kidnappings, all of them children. Well, it is a kidnapping for a reason. Oh, there was a joke that I heard in Zelda, and it was these two guys were talking, and it said, "Hey, did you hear about the kidnapping in the woods?" "No, it happened. He woke up."
Is that from the new one, Breath of the Wild?
No, that was from Majora's Mask.
Mm.
You know, you're a couple guys that are kicking a ball back for like hacky sack or something, and they were kicking this little ball back to each other, and they were saying that it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. They'd all had one thing in common: a history of visits to one particular hospital. The hospital had been under the management of Cradle Pharmaceutical, and Seven's investigation had turned up evidence that Cradle had been involved in the kidnappings. After a little persuasion, he'd managed to finally get a real lead from someone inside Cradle Pharmaceutical. They told him that night a ship was set to take the children from where they were being held to a large passenger liner docked offshore. Seven had, of course, gone to the wharf. Hidden in the shadows, he'd searched the harbor until at last he found the ship he was looking for. There were a number of human shapes moving near the ship. They were men in black suits. Men in black! Many of them were carrying large bags.
So I guess Seven got flashed with one of the neuralizers.
That's what it looks like, yeah. The bags. There was something about the way they moved as they were carried. There could be no mistake. There were human beings in those bags. Or aliens.
Yeah.
He had moved before he'd even realized he was going to. Out of the shadows he came, his gun already in his hand. Seriously, okay, we really can't skip this. He heard the words, "Don't move," but they weren't his. He felt metal touch the back of his head. "Drop your gun," came the cold voice from behind him. "I can kill you right now. It would mean nothing at all. I need only tie an anchor on your feet, and I doubt anyone will see you for perhaps a week or so. Is that what you'd like? The fish here would be thankful for the meal."
Is this story any different from the first time we heard it?
This part seems new.
Okay.
With the words, he felt the cold metal thing behind him press against his skull. Slowly, Seven crouched down and laid his gun on the ground. Then suddenly, he felt a sharp pain on his neck. A needle. Was it some sort of drug?
Yep.
As he was thinking about that, Seven felt His face hit the cold concrete beneath him. He could feel the chill of it seeping into him.
And everything was black.
Darn. Crap, my head hurts. Seven woke up to find himself lying on a hard floor. He twisted his neck to peer around the room. Where am I? There was a small, shabby bed and a dirty sink. A toilet with no stall or privacy of any sort. As a cop, it was a place Seven had seen all too often, and this seems so familiar. Okay, go ahead and start just clicking.
Okay. We're
'Cause
gonna fast forward.
yeah,
through
he
this
gets to his
familiar-
feet, pounds on the door, and probably yells like, "Hey, get me out of here," or "What's going on," or whatever. And then that's when he hears some kids screaming or crying or whatever. And that's when he flips the bed up, finds the vent. We've already seen all this.
Okay.
I'm not seeing any additional information.
I'm just gonna jump on through
9,000.
high-pitched child voice, and they're talking.
And well, we know it's not Clover, but
Thankfully, although everyone's high-pitched voice, so
yeah, all those kids.
yep.
And
Okay.
coming from under the bed, he grabbed the bed up and flipped it. Like I said, finds the grate. And I know I said an "oh, that's great" type pun
Yep.
when we were in this.
Well, it really is great.
Yeah.
I guess to repeat the joke would just be grating, though.
Like cheese.
Yep. Grating and cheesy. Okay. Onward.
But that's nacho joke.
Yep. Let's see.
Why are they showing the
I'm-
toilet there?
Man, I barely even responded to your joke. Not very appreciative of me. Guess I'm just an ingrate.
Ah! Ah ha ha!
Mm.
That was a great joke. Too.
Let's just see how many we can think during this. I think I'm during this little flashback.
Daring.
Yeah. What?
Dairy.
Dairying?
During.
Dairy.
Okay, that's okay. That one stretched a little thin.
Yeah. A little thin, like the bars on the grate. Oh,
Or the thin strips of string cheese.
yeah. Oh, we gotta entertain ourselves somehow, right?
Some cheese sounds good right now.
Okay, emergency incineration. This is a familiar scenario.
Yeah.
We've seen the incinerator before. Did Seven mention the incinerator in the last time?
I think so, and he also I think that's when he mentioned that the one little girl died,
Mmm.
and that's what caused the thing to be so horrible that he didn't want to remember any of this because he witnessed this little girl die in front of him,
Okay.
especially if she got incinerated.
Yeah. Let's see what we can find out from this. Okay. Seven's saving the children from the incinerator. Okay, bashing a door open.
Yeah.
And... oh, yes. Okay. So the first time we heard his story, we didn't recognize this place. And then we... okay.
And I recognize some people.
Yeah.
Do you recognize some of these people?
Yep. That is looking like Lotus.
Well, Lotus was still an adult, but
Children, genetic.
yeah,
Genetic. There's Akane, of course. And let's see. We've got one gray-haired dude and one white-haired dude. One of those might be Santa.
I'm thinking that this kid is Santa and this kid's got to be Snake.
Oh, just so. Yes. Okay. Let's see. All right, talking our way through.
Okay. This part looks kind of new, but I can understand. He was, actually, he was afraid to see his kids. Don't worry, kids. I'm not your enemy. I'm one of the good guys.
Except for one.
Definitely Santa.
Yep.
Except for one. He was a boy, slightly older than the others, in a private school uniform. Who are you, man? Well, I guess he wouldn't say that yet. It was just kind of like, who are you? He didn't have the man yet. He's just a kid. As he spoke, he took a tentative step forward and gave Seven a suspicious look. I'm a detective. I'm here to rescue you. The moment the words were out of his mouth, he could see the children relax. How are you going to help us? The boy in the uniform asked. Where's the exit? Seven responded. There isn't one. The door we came in through won't open. And the door over there... He cut himself off, considering something, and then continued. Anyway, there's no point. We can't all get out of here. If we don't get out of here, we're going to get burned to death. Burned to death. Can't you hear it? The sound of the incinerator is going to start up soon. And I know you did the robot voice last time. The voice simply spoke again.
Automatic incineration will take place in 15 minutes.
15 minutes. They only had 15 minutes. Seven looked back down at the children. It was a good 20 or 30 feet to the floor. There was no way he could pull the children up. That was when he had an idea. Wait right there. I'm going to be right back. What? Where's he going?
Are you just gonna leave us here?
And then probably
Okay.
I can't speak. Snake probably had some of those words in there, but don't worry. All right, I'll be back. I promise. So just stay calm and wait right there. Got it? Oh yeah, it's not like we can go anywhere. We're stuck in this room. He didn't wait to hear them respond. There was
Am I blind yet?
I don't know. He ran as fast as a man could on his hands and knees. Before long, he was back in his cell. He was back where he'd started, but he had a plan. There was something that he needed. As soon as he was finished, he dove back into the duct and took off toward the incinerator. Sorry to keep you waiting, guys. Leaning out of the door in the duct, Seven lowered the rope he'd brought from the floor.
To the floor. Okay, rope.
Okay.
He's got the rope.
Bed sheets. Okay, he torn the bed sheets into strips and made a rope. Okay. Like Seven himself, it wasn't very attractive, but it got the job done. Even in my flashback, I'm calling myself ugly. Alright, just tie that around yourself, okay? I'll pull you up one at a time. Right. Huh?
Wait a second.
That was when he noticed. There's more of you than before. Where'd the rest of you go? The boy in the uniform answered. I let them go ahead. We opened the number 9 door and they left. What, you're telling me you opened that door? That's what I said. Then what are you doing here? We couldn't go with them. Why not? Look, the only people who can go through the numbered door...
Uh-oh. We're running out of time. Automatic incineration will take place in 5 minutes.
The voice reverberated against the walls of the room.
It took you 10 minutes to tie together all those sheets.
And to leave and come back.
Way to move quickly, Mr. Detective Hero Man.
Look, that can wait, all right?
Oh, wait, that's a kid.
Oh.
Okay, Lotus voice time! Look, that can wait, alright? Just get us out of here!
Right. Seven grabbed a hold of the rope. First up was a girl with a ponytail. Next was the girl with a red necktie, followed by a boy in a jacket who said he'd climb up on his own. That's definitely Snake. I can climb up on my own. Last up was the boy in the uniform. Like the boy in the jacket, he climbed up the rope himself. He looked scrawny from above, but his looks belied impressive strength. He scaled the rope quickly, but as he was almost to Seven, they heard the sound of someone knocking. All eyes turned to the door. Cut into it was a thick, square window. On the other side, they could see a furious face. It's probably Ace, but I'm not sure.
What's going on here? Why is the room empty? Where are those kids?
That's right. Burn in the fire, Ace. Although you're still alive. The door opened, and a man stepped in, looking half mad with fury. Half mad?
All mad.
He'd be all mad.
That's what fury is.
Yeah. Seven recognized his face. He'd seen him many times in photos during his investigations. The man's name was Gentoro Hongo. Okay, was Ace.
That's an Ace face.
Yeah, that is an Ace face. The CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical. Hongo saw the boy hanging from the rope.
Ah!
He roared like an animal, like a lion, perhaps, and lunged for the rope. Hurry. I know. The boy in the uniform resumed his scramble up the rope.
Get back here! And that's about all I can say.
He was 15 feet away. 10. The moment he came within arm's reach, Seven grabbed the boy in the uniform. With a jerk, he tossed him into the duct behind him like a jerk. Gah!
The boy was abducted.
No, that was you.
Ah, no!
Hongo lost any semblance of control. His face no longer looked human. Like a lion, perhaps. It was twisted into something terrifying. The visage of a devil or a ferocious monster, like a lion. Seven quickly reeled in his rope, leaving a furious Hongo on the floor of the room, and crawled back into the duct.
He was lying. On the floor. You won't get away with this. How dare you compromise this experiment?
What experiment? Seven wondered.
Is it robot voice? Automatic incineration will take place in 1 minute.
Ooh. Hey, old man, what are you doing? Hurry up. Oh. Hey, old man, what are you doing? Hurry up. It was the boy in the uniform. Seven tossed Hongo a taunting salute and pulled the door closed. See ya. There was no point to going back to Seven's cell, so they continued down the duct in the other direction. After 30 feet or so, another duct met theirs, heading down. They nodded at one another, then turned and slid down the duct. A short time later, they crawled out of the duct to find themselves in a narrow hallway. There was a door on each side of it. The one on the left was a normal double door. But the one on the right was a familiar, thick metal door with black and yellow stripes and a device next to it on the wall. On the door was a plate that read, Incinerator. Then that's where we were? Yeah. Hongo might still be in there. It looks like it's been shut off, though. Wait, what? If he's still in there? Yeah, that's not good. Ugh. Seven grunted. I don't know who's saying it now.
It's probably Seven.
Okay, fine. The other door. Go into the other door. Hurry. The children began to run, with Seven following close behind them. On the other side of the door was a large spiral staircase. Run! Seven shouted. They didn't need to be told twice. Wait, what are we doing? Run! Okay. Up and up and up they went. Their feet pounded against the steps, and their arms churned the air. Round and round and round they went, like a human tornado. Where would they stop? Nobody knows. The stairway kept going.
Much like this story.
They passed a couple rooms that looked to be dance halls when the boy in the uniform spoke. Yeah. Something's up. Akane's not catching up to us. Akane? My kid's sister. The girl with the red necktie.
Huh.
Akane. That was strange. Seven didn't remember seeing that name in the list of children who's gone missing. Hey, Akane! He kept his hands around his mouth and yelled. There was no response. Maybe we outran her. Suddenly the boy in the uniform stopped short. Seven stopped too, as did the boy in the jacket and the ponytailed girl. I don't know who's saying when did we do that.
When did we do that?
We passed a couple big rooms on the way here. Maybe she took a rest on one of them.
No, that's impossible!
Sorry, Grandpa, you keep going. That's definitely Santa right there. I gotta go look for her downstairs. He turned to go. Hey! Hey, kid, wait! Oh, man, I said wait! The boy didn't seem to hear him. Oh, crap. Seven spun around and yelled to the boy in the jacket and the girl with the ponytail. I'm going after him. You two keep going, alright? You got it? The girl nodded and began to run up the stairs. The boy, however...
I'm going with you.
Seven didn't have time to argue. Instead, he simply nodded and took off down the stairs. The boy in the jacket followed, blindly, and accidentally tripped down the stairs, knocking Seven over, and the two of them stumbled down the stairs. They ran all the way down to the bottom floor, calling for her. Akane was nowhere to be found. Oh, where'd she go? The boy in the uniform couldn't hide his frustration. Okay, I guess, where'd she go? And then, help, somebody help me! It was a girl's voice. Akane! The boy in the uniform threw open the door and leapt into the hallway that faced the incinerator. Seven and the boy in the jacket followed. Seven couldn't believe what he saw. Hongo had grabbed Akane by the arm and was doing the utmost force to force her into the incinerator. Come on.
Come on!
Oh.
Move!
No, I don't want to. Let me go. Please let go of me. She had planted her feet squarely on the floor and was doing her best to get away, but Hongo was much larger than she was. She wasn't going to win.
Why is he trying to do this?
Akane! The boy in the uniform shouted. He roared with anger and charged toward Hongo. You came back!
Ha! You're too late, idiot!
Hongo lifted Akane bodily from her feet and threw her struggling into the incinerator. Such a desensitive... Before Seven or the boy in the uniform could react, Hongo leapt through the door after her. They saw him land inside. Why is he jumping in there too?
What in the...
And then the door slammed shut, with the finality of a great steel guillotine. The three of them ran to the door. They pulled and strained, trying desperately to get it open.
Rah! Blah, blah, blah. It's no use. The blah, blah, blah thing won't move an inch.
Sonic,
Whoever
it's like
said
Sonic 06. It's no use!
It's no use.
The boy in the uniform cried out and began to slam his fists against the door. He hit it with such force, Seven feared his knuckles would shatter from the impact. Akane! Akane! Are you okay? Help me! Or, oh! Her voice was muffled by the door, but the sheer terror in it was unmistakable.
Someone asked Akane, where's Hongo? And then she said he went out the other door.
Where's Hongo? What?
Warning, warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 18 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was down to 1 minute.
I guess it got reset.
Oh, okay.
Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat, emergency incineration command has been acknowledged.
Somebody's saying, "Are you kidding me?" Okay. Are you kidding me? Seven was at a loss. It's the same thing. Akane's voice sounded close to tears. Yeah, we're here. Just hang on, alright? We're gonna figure out how to save you. She could have seen the bloodless face of the boy in the uniform. His words would have seemed like a little more than a sick joke.
Oh. We've got 18 minutes now. Automatic incineration will take place in 17 minutes.
It's gonna be alright. I'll figure something out. I promise. I promise, okay? You'll hear me. I promise. They could hear her muffled sobs from the other side of the door. The boy in the knuckle... Whoa.
Yeah.
The boy in the uniform tightened his fist. His knuckles were a bloodless white. Seven could tell that he was holding back tears of his own.
Uh-oh. Oh, this is so drawn out.
Mm-hmm. It was silent. All they could hear was the creaking of the boat as it shifted in the water. They waited. And waited. But Seven didn't continue.
What happened then?
Junpei couldn't wait any longer. He had to know. Seven looked at the floor. Come on, man. Put yourself in my shoes. Doesn't end good. Think I want to remember that?
Then...
Yeah. Crap, if I'd known it was going to be like this. I almost wish I hadn't remembered. Seven shook his head. But there was something Junpei had to know.
Hey, are you sure? Look, I don't want to ask this either, but there's something I don't get.
Yeah?
So if you could just tell me, did that girl Akane really...
Seven stared straight ahead at nothing. Yeah, I'm sure. There wasn't anything we could do. After a while, the countdown ended, and we heard something burning. Even if the fire stopped, they couldn't move. Seven and the boy in the jacket simply stood there, where they were frozen. Although if you go in the incinerator, then you won't be frozen anymore. The boy in the uniform collapsed, falling to the floor in a jumble of limbs like a puppet whose strings had been cut. A few more minutes passed. The door opened.
Okay.
The boy in the uniform ran in, stumbling over his own feet. Seven and the boy in the jacket followed, still too numb to speak. The air in the incinerator was hot. Every breath made Seven's lungs feel like they were on fire. The air shimmered with heat, and in the middle of the room, beneath the waves of heat, there it lay. The boy in the uniform walked toward it, his legs shaking violently. Seven couldn't see his face, but his body looked somehow empty. Finally, he reached it. The boy collapsed to his knees, his legs no longer able to support him.
Oof, that's heavy.
Yeah. Well, it's just ash. It wouldn't be that heavy.
Well,
Ah!
I guess we needed a little levity to lighten up that heavy situation.
Junpei felt a cold lump form in the pit of his stomach. A feeling of sickening anticipation washed over him. He could feel his body shivering. He desperately did not want to know the answer he'd feared he knew already, but he had to ask. He had to know for sure.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What?
The girl, Akane, what was her last name?
What does it matter to you?
Just tell me, okay? Please.
Seven looked at Junpei curiously and ran his tongue quickly over his dry lips. Kurashiki. Her name was Akane Kurashiki.
Okay. Well, this is weird.
Something inside of Junpei stopped. He had no more words left. He had no more Junpei left. He was just a shell of flesh and bone. Seven turned to Snake and said, "Alright, let's move on to the next episode."
Next episode? So it is.